Hello my friends and welcome back to another watercolor tutorial. Today we are going to be painting this really neat scene, I guess you could say. I'm painting it on a wood slice as I have a few in the past. This is just a regular piece of wood with watercolor ground on top, so it acts just like watercolor paper would. So if you don't have a wood slice or don't want to paint on a wood slice, a watercolor piece of paper is just fine and does exactly the same thing. So please don't fret about that. So this should be a fairly quick painting. It's fairly straightforward. And I think it would make a really good Christmas card if you were painting it on a piece of paper. It's simple, it's sweet, and there's a lot of other adjectives I can use, but if it speaks to you, then it's customizable because you can paint all the ornaments different colors. But anyway, here I'm mixing black and brown, and we're going to be painting the branch first. And I want to have the branch, like this wood slice is kind of more in landscape position than it is in portrait, which works for us. So I'm going to try and paint this branch going very slightly diagonally upwards. So it'll start somewhere about here and then extend like that. And I have a habit of making my deciduous branches very smooth. Like this is too smooth for my liking. So just keep that in mind when you're painting yours. So I'm just having some offshoots. Uh-oh, I hear an intruder coming. I wanted to remain quiet there. Oh, she's back. Okay. My toddler came running up to the office door, which is where I'm painting. And she was just standing there listening to see if I'm in here, which is why I stopped talking. Because I am trying to paint here, and my husband was talking with his parents over Skype, and she was part of the conversation, but as toddlers do, she gets distracted and bored after a while. Anyway, you can kind of tailor this branch to your liking. Just keep in mind that you're going to need a twig of some sort to attach all of the ornaments that we're painting to, and you ideally want to paint them at different heights, so just keep that in mind when you're painting this. Okay, so now that we have our branch, I'm going to just draw out with a pencil where I want my ornaments to hang, because why do we do that? Because sometimes if you paint it, you can't unpaint it, and sometimes it's not in the correct position. So in this one, I had all four be like round bulbs. But I think I'm gonna do a little bit of like maybe a star-shaped one or an oval-shaped one. Be a little bit more creative this time. So maybe the first one I'll make it the, what shape is this? Teardrop? And then the next one I will make a circle. And then this one I might make a star because there's a little bit more space here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm not very good at stars, just in general. Oh my gosh, okay, I'm glad I realized this now, sorry. I am painting in relation to this hole, right? So like it's gonna hang like this, which means this is facing the wrong direction. I have to angle it more like that. And that is why I pencil these guys in first, exactly for that reason. That's still lopsided. Maybe it would help if you kind of painted the I'm gonna tweak that one. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with that one. But with the star, I'm going to first just do, I don't even know what this is called. This thing. It's like the easiest way to draw a star as a guide for myself. And then I want to round it. Oh my gosh. Oh dear. Okay. All is well. My toddler fell from the front step. Like my husband's with her, but when I hear that kind of a cry, it's very hard for me to not want to comfort my child. So I just ran out there quickly and gave her a big old hug. So, okay, that's a good way of painting a star. Maybe I should now do like a ocean scene because that looks like a good starfish, but I have an ornament that looks very similar to this. I'm not too pleased with like, I'm sure once I adjust this, the height variation of these ornaments will work a little bit better than they do at this present moment. But we have to put one more here, and I'm just trying to decide what kind of ornament I am going to put there. Maybe if I adjust this one. There's got to be a trick to painting this style of ornament in the same way that I painted this star. Maybe if okay, I'm gonna paint first just a circle and then add the points and then erase the circle. When I paint it, it'll all come together, I'm sure. So with this last one, I'm gonna do another one of those because I think a circle would be a bit too basic beside the star. Okay, perfect. This one though, I might have it hanging from this branch just to give it more of a variation. Okay, great. So you can make your colors for these guys however you wish. I'm just erasing the really harsh pencil marks because when you paint over top of pencil, you can't erase it after. And it sometimes shows through depending how dark your watercolor is. So what colors should I go with? Should I go with fancy colors? I do want to make the star gold because, or maybe copper. I have these beautiful metallic colors that I just haven't really used to their full extent. So this part is pretty self-explanatory. You're just filling in the shapes that you penciled in. Okay, so that looks a little bit like a starfish, but that's all right. Yeah, maybe I should have stuck with the gold because now it has a kind of a coral color and it looks very starfishy, but whatever. We'll just roll with it. I am going to make this one a nice bright red, or maybe red with silver. Yes, that's what I'm gonna do. Red with silver. But first I'll paint the silver. It's like a pink, which will work out because it'll be kind of a candy cane color. It's because I first picked up red on my paintbrush and then I rinsed it out and picked up the silver, so it kind of turned into this baby pink, ballet pink color. So then I will make this one gold. Sorry, I keep hitting my head against the stand and my phone is on because I'm trying to make the sound as good quality as possible by being as close to my head as possible, but that results in me hitting it quite often with my head. And I've gotten a few comments that you guys are annoyed with my hand going across, which I totally understand, but that's just what's most comfortable for me to paint. Like on this side, on that side of my palette is the stand. Like it literally from here, I can't put anything on that side. And my field of vision goes towards the left anyway, so it's easier for me to have everything else on the left side. I can't do anything about the stand being in the way, even if I were to make the sacrifice of looking over. So because I did metallic for all the other ones, I'm like, maybe I should finish off with another metallic one. Maybe a metallic green. If you don't have metallic colors, I hope you kind of goes without saying that you just use what you have. You don't need to do everything in metallic. I'm just doing it because I've never had an excuse to use these metallic colors, and I finally do. So you can use whatever colors you want or whatever colors you have. You can do the same color scheme, but in non-metallic form if you like how this is turning out. But in hindsight, I think I would have done just like bright reds and greens and like very traditional Christmas colors and hues and whatnot. Although that's nice, I guess. I might take another metallic green that I have. Just add a little bit on top. Okay, now what I'm not very good at, I'm gonna just look up a picture really quickly of, what would I even call this? Of course, my phone decides today's the day I'm not gonna work. Come on. Oh my goodness, seriously? Sorry. Okay, twisted ornament. Because that's, no, not grass. Ornament. I'm not very good at the, like how you do the twist part. Twisted tear shaped ornament. There we go. Okay, so I can either freehand this or draw it out first with a pencil. And I am opting for the option of just painting it straight on and taking a risk that way. Simply because this was supposed to be a quick tutorial and it's kind of dragging on. Also, I don't want my pencil marks to show. So how do I even do this? I'm not very good at this. I don't think that's at all what I was supposed to do. Whoops. Well, that looks quite horrible. Wow. That could not have turned out worse. I am going to undo that completely if I can by just merging the two colors together. That was so bad that I'm a little bit embarrassed to even show that. Just the real image that I'm looking at on Google, it's glass, so it doesn't really show the pattern very well. I kind of have to guess. That was really bad. Yikes. Okay. I'm gonna just change direction here and focus on the green ornament. And what I'm gonna do is just the classic like stripe just straight down rather than the twisted thing. Like so. That is much better. Much better than the embarrassing thing I painted prior to that. Okay. I think honestly I should have just stuck with my original color scheme on the other one, because this is starting to look not at all like a Christmas ornament thing, but rather some tropical thing. So I'm gonna paint this just red and call that a day. I'll figure out what to do exactly with that later. We gotta move on from this, like the colors of the ornaments, because that should have taken the least amount of time and it seemed to take me the most. So what I want to do now is take like a gold or a copper or something of that nature, and we're gonna paint that little, I don't know what it's called, and I have to move this over so I can hit close. Is this still filming? I hope so. Okay. So it's that little crown cap thing that attaches to an ornament that the string or the wire attaches to. You can make yours whatever color you want because they're typically silver or gold. That's what I remember them being. The color I remember them being, but They could be a different color. I think I should have made the star one a different color. Silver. Probably to contrast the coral copper color of the star. I can always go over it with maybe line it in black or something like that. And then I'm going to attach these guys to the tree branch. Now you can just leave it like that, but I kind of liked adding a bow. I'm gonna add a red bow this time, because in my other one I just have black. But I want to add a bit more color this time. I think I prefer the black now that I'm looking at this. This one is not working out the way that the first one had. Like, the only reason I filmed this tutorial was because that first one, I was like, oh wow, this was really easy to paint. It was super quick and it turned out great. And this one, and now I'm realizing like I should have painted the snow on the branch first, and the red bows just aren't very opaque at all, and if I try to go over them with black now, I won't paint exactly on top of it, so it'll be all over the place, and I'm just having a bit of a hard time with that at the moment. A little bit frustrating. I'm going over this again because this is just not very dark. And I keep making this bulb wider and wider and wider every time I paint it. Just naturally, when watercolor dries, it loses its intensity. That's just what it does. So I'm trying to go over these and make them a little more 3D-like. Okay, I'm gonna paint the snow on the trees, or on the branch, I mean. Oh dear, where did that go? Just went on here, so I'll just use the acrylic paint off of this. So the way I did it before on the other one is I took a bit of blue blue acrylic paint and mixed it in with my white because I wanted the snow to have a slight tint to it. Since there's no background behind the tree branch, it would just kind of fade into, you wouldn't be able to see the snow on the tree branch very well. So that was my intention. And it worked out all right on the other one. So I'm gonna try and do it again on this one. Basically what I did is once the blue tinted one dried, I just went over it again with white, just on part of it to add a highlight, if you will. Okay. So that is that. Now I'm gonna just leave it there. Oh, sorry, I did forget to do one thing with the white acrylic paint. So you can make the ornaments look a little bit more realistic by adding a glare to them with acrylic paint. So I just add a curved line on the left side with a little dot on the bottom of that curve, and then maybe 2 or 3 more tiny dots on the other side. So you can do that on all of them. On the star, not really sure how I would achieve that, to be honest. I was gonna go over the star to give it more of like a realistic look anyways, so I don't know how I feel about this. But I'm just gonna do it because that'll stop me from being all finicky about it later. Same with this gold one. There we go. So that didn't turn out too bad. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please let me know what you think and whether you're gonna use it for a Christmas card. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next tutorial.